How's it going, everyone? Matt from Backer Club here again with another creator interview. This time we have Alex from D-FY.IT. How's it going, Alex?
It's great. How about you, Matt?
Not too bad. We just have a few questions for you today about your new project that's about to go live.
Fire.
Awesome. So we're just going to jump right into it. So for someone that's brand new to Defy.IT, can you give us a brief overview of the brand and the backpack?
Yeah, how the brand was born is we're trying to defy the compromises that exist in everyday gear today. And very specifically, speaking about our first backpack, D-FY.IT One, we were trying to defy a very simple compromise, whereas either you have a nice looking bag which you can go to office with, or you can have a proper water protection, but you cannot have
Mm,
both. It's
yeah.
one or the other. So that's the core of it.
Cool. So, what makes Defy One different from other backpacks on the market? And I know that there is like a lot of like waterproof backpacks out there. So, like, what makes this one different?
Well, if I can say it in a few short phrases, maybe, waterproof fabric isn't a waterproof backpack, and coated
Mm,
zippers isn't waterproof backpacks. We'll talk about it later, but a realization came early to me in this project that waterproof is about construction end to end, and that's how it's different. It's true waterproofness that handles briefly being submerged and handles it quite
ah,
well. So it's, shall I put it that way? It's built for real rain, not for marketing rain.
gotcha. Yep. Yeah, that's an interesting distinction because I think a lot of people, when they see waterproof backpack, it just means that the like material is waterproof, but not that the whole entire thing is waterproof. So I think that's
Exactly.
an interesting thing to point out. Awesome. So, where did the inspiration for the Defiant One come from?
Well, it largely came out of daily necessities and frustrations associated with that. So years ago, I had a great, very expensive bag, made of great materials and claimed to be fully waterproof. Yet one day, after a day under non-stop drizzle, nothing strong,
Yeah.
really a drizzle, but very annoying one, in the evening, all my gear inside was just wet. Okay, things do happen. I
Yep.
realized that one didn't even have coated zippers, being honest. So I thought, okay, let me find something better. So I picked up a second bag for myself, waterproof fabric outside, waterproof fabric inside, roll top. Sounds very good on paper. And it served me quite well for maybe a year or so until I got under a really heavy downpour. And then I discovered my phone swimming at the bottom of the bag in a small puddle. Wasn't fun, but the phone was waterproof, so
Yep.
it all ended up nicely. But that's when a realization came to me that waterproof zippers or waterproof fabric isn't waterproof backpack. And if you want something you can rely on, it's a construction that you need to
Yep.
take care of. And there was nothing like this on the market, so that's how the whole idea was created.
Hmm. Very cool. So, you kind of led into it a little bit here, but can you walk us through the actual waterproofing of this backpack? I know it's a dual layer system with the shell and then the integrated liner, but can you explain that a little bit more?
Yep, to make it work, we had to come up with a somewhat complex construction, not typical for the backpacks. So we have an external layer, which is ballistic nylon,
Okay.
separately PU coated for abrasion resistance, which makes it even
Mm,
better. Uh, but that one is very difficult to waterproof because seam sealing
yeah,
ballistic nylon is no easy thing. So what we have is we built in a proper dry bag.
cool.
And this dry bag is 10,000 millimeters waterproof. That's a level of waterproofness that you see in tents, which
Mm,
you can sleep in the rain all night and water will not get in. So that's way over and above that many waterproof bags would really have. And this liner is built right into the bag and you can roll and seal it separately. That's this dual layer system. What
mm,
was complex though is that if you look at the typical dry bags, these are just hollow tubes basically.
yeah,
So you can throw any stuff there, it gets lost at the bottom, which obviously doesn't work for your daily necessities. So what we had to make that was even more complex is we built some organization into that dry bag. It has a padded laptop
uh,
sleeve. It has tons of pockets. It has vertical item holders. And that
Yep.
was the most difficult part of the project, probably in
Yep.
hindsight, in creating this dual layer system. If it just would be a good shell and the dry bag inside, it will probably take us much, much less time to develop.
Yeah, that's a really interesting point that you brought up. Yeah, because most, like, pockets and stuff are sewn in, and you can't do that with a waterproof liner and stuff. So, yeah,
Exactly.
very interesting, very interesting. Cool. So, the bag has a really interesting closure system with its, like, triple roll seal, and the magnetic latch. How much engineering went in to get that right? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, that's also an interesting one because it wasn't rolled up from the beginning. We really wanted to just do a handy, everyday waterproof solution. And we started with what everyone starts with the zippers.
Yeah.
Quite naturally, zippers failed fairly quickly. The worst thing about zippers is don't close it to the very, very end, and you guarantee that the water will be in the first seconds under the rain. Just a small amount, maybe.
Yeah.
So then we turned our attention to flaps, which is another handy system which a lot of people use. And there we quickly realized it works nice, it's very handy. However, any strong side wind and the water will be inside again. So that's how we came to roll top, more out of necessity, out of desire to get a true waterproofness to our customers. Then the second question is how do you close that in a way that it's handy? Because one of the typical problems of roll tops is you need to align it perfectly before rolling to
Oh.
get the waterproofness. So that's where magnetic snap came in because it aligns the bag for you, taking the pain out of getting the waterproof roll right. And then when you roll it fully, last question is how do you keep that roll fastened? Which is apparently another challenge because there are plenty of solutions available on the market which leave you with dangling webbing, which just gets in the way. And that was the last bit, the G hook that ultimately allowed us to get rid of this loose webbing dangling around. So that's how the whole thing got born.
Very cool. I noticed that in the campaign, it also said that you could roll it up one-handed, which I think is a cool accessibility feature, but that's because of the technology that you actually used, right?
Yep, it's also a function of this combination of magnetic snapping and then being relatively easy to roll. Also, and that was equally important, the typical problem with the roll top bags
Yeah.
is opening with one hand. So you literally, and you can see it on our videos on the side, I think that I open this bag one-handed, unroll it, and you can see how it works. Super easy to get the stuff out, which is not typical for roll tops.
Yeah. Very cool. Love it. So you've been working on this bag and this idea since 2022 and tested nearly like 90 design elements. Can you talk about the development journey and what some of your biggest design challenges were along the way?
Well, in hindsight, but that was an anticipated challenge. The most difficult design bit was getting a proper dry bag organization inside. That
That's
was
weird.
like not easy at all. And this task alone probably took us around 1 year to get there.
Wow.
But speaking a bit more about the design journey, so yes, indeed, the first challenge was to get some organization in the dry bag, which we sorted out. Another big one, and that was a big surprise, was shoulder straps. As strange as it sounds, the whole industry is built just around two designs.
Yeah.
One which is a more basic and less durable, one which is a more premium, but it also looks fairly complex and sophisticated. Neither suited our purposes, so we had to develop our own shoulder strap design, which took us around 6 months probably
Wow.
to get it right, and a lot of testing, including load testing. I spent countless hours outside with 10 kilo of load on my shoulders just to ensure it works. That wasn't the funniest bit, honestly, but that was completely an unexpected challenge.
Yeah.
And then other design elements, we tested a lot of effort went into the pockets because to make sure they have the right form, the right size, easy to access, a special pain for things like roll tops is making internal pockets easy to get into and get stuff out when the backpack is full. all of that also required quite a bit of time. And then I'm not even talking about funny stuff like the fabric that we use was never supposed to be anything but black. It was like early Fords. And we spent 6 months just to get the right light gray color because this was a massive problem. It was coming up with some kind of a tint, yellowish tint, which was very unpleasant. So it might sound a bit obsessive on my end, maybe, but that's really what it takes to get the stuff done right.
Yeah.
And maybe just one fun fact to finish this story: I learned to sew to develop the first prototypes of this bag.
Very cool. Yeah, dedication there.
A bit of, yes.
Cool. So, can you give us a brief overview kind of the team and our partners for the project and kind of where this bag is being manufactured?
Yeah, speaking about the teams, that's another thing which I didn't anticipate at the beginning, being honest. It takes quite a lot of people to bring
Yeah.
just one single backpack to the market. So not even touching things like marketing people, people doing websites, etc. 3 people contribute to the design of this bag
Wow.
non-stop for several years, and 2 extra people on top of these 3 were testing the bag at least on and off to give their feedback with regards to what works, what doesn't work. Then we hired a big backpack development company, and a very well renowned one, which helped us to turn our designs into something that can be manufactured industrially,
Mm.
which
Yep.
was another challenge,
Yep.
despite our best effort at the initial stage to make it work right. We had a dedicated technologist, a person who worked with luxury bag brands before to ensure they deliver the right quality, and that person was dedicated just to sorting out the usability problems, like how do we make pockets really comfortable for people to use, but also the quality, like how do you ensure that every step of the manufacturing delivers the quality that you need. Uh, then, after all of that was done, we hope it's everything, but then comes manufacturer selection, and we had to find the one who would deliver the right quality to us. We are very happy with the guys we found in Vietnam. These are the guys who are working for the major international brands, and I was really proud to be in that company when I visited them and saw whom they
Mm.
manufacture for.
Yep.
But the most important bit is they have rigorous quality controls, and this allowed us to be certain that the manufacturing will be done with the quality we expect. That was very important for us.
Awesome. So, now that you guys I see you must have that already lined up, uh, I think your project states that you've already started the production process and that you have a delivery date of around June 2026. So you pretty confident that you're gonna be able to deliver then at that time. And so where can you explain a little bit about where that stands right now?
Well, to start, naturally, you cannot promise something with absolute confidence
Yeah.
in this world, but we're reasonably sure we will be able to start the deliveries in June. What makes us so sure? We hope that the biggest roadblocks are already behind us. Indeed, the manufacturer is not only the manufacturing partner is selected, we've had the first production run, so all the
Oh, good.
tooling is done. All the teething problems were probably resolved with the first 20 bags or so, and then we manufactured another 100. So that's already behind us. We
Very
know
cool.
the technologies, the suppliers are locked in. The key thing truly was the fabric, and this is locked in, and the colors are locked in, and the colors are right. That was very important. So this bit, we are really confident we will be able to deliver. And the second round of manufacturing will start at around 20th of March.
Okay.
So way before even the Kickstarter campaign will be finishing. Still, in the modern world, some things can go wrong because then we have logistics, we have tariffs, which can change day in and day out, as we know these
Yep.
days, and all the other issues that can come with it. But again, we have logistics partners selected. They have experience. We've looked at how they dealt with the previous round of tariffs last year, so we know how we're gonna work with that. It gives us a level of confidence that we should be in a very strong position to start shipments end of June. And in any case, I would honestly say what can happen the worst. Yes, there might be a delay of a week or two or three, but we'll keep it open and transparent and ensure that all our backers know what's going on.
Yeah. I think this day and age, that's about the best answer you can give, right? Is like, we'll keep you up to date, but we're going to try our best. So,
True,
yeah.
true. You can't promise more than that in the real world.
Yeah. Cool. So, last but not least, is there anything you'd like to say directly to the backers?
Yeah. Thanks for this opportunity because to all the backers, thanks for believing in us because I think Kickstarter is like very much about believing in
Yeah.
someone. To give you a great products, we were not taking shortcuts. We were really trying to deliver to you something where technological problems, production problems are solved, where there is a good quality of a product that you can use daily for years in the office, in cafes, on trails, during travel. Uh, Last, and that's very important for us because that's part of our DNA. We don't just sell you a backpack, we sell you something unique that you don't find on the market. And by supporting us, you help us to develop a brand which will continue to deliver unique solutions for everyday problems of people around us. Thank you.
Awesome. Great response. Well, thanks a lot. That's all the questions we had for you, Alex. I hope the project does great on Kickstarter. Guys, go check it out.
Thank you, Matt.
Take care.
Bye.